Hello, I am N9 and welcome back to Reentry, an orbital simulator. Today we are jumping into the next campaign mission for the Gemini spacecraft after our rendezvous with a face-to-face mission. Now it looks like we are doing docking, which is what I suspected, and I'm very excited. The press has gone wild after the first US rendezvous and formation flying in space was achieved, including Commander Patrick's 14 days in space. A lot of work is still in front of us as we make progress towards the bold goal and dream of landing on the moon. A docking training module has just successfully launched into orbit at an altitude of 300 kilometers, and it is your job to catch up with it, rendezvous, and dock. So last time it failed to launch, but this time it worked. So the docking. A specially designed docking training module has been launched into orbit, and the objective is to dock with it. If successful, it will be the first docking in history. Aurora, comms check. How do you read? I read loud and clear. It hasn't loaded my response quite yet, though. We are still loading the panel state for another 10 seconds. There we go. Loud and clear. Roger that. A little bit of a delay. That's all. We are back in the Gemini capsule once again, and we're going to go into orbit rendezvous, and this time attach ourselves to something. That's pretty cool. The docking training target vehicle has been launched into orbit and will be slightly ahead of you. Hold on, let's just, while we're reading things, just slap all this stuff on. The mission will be similar to your previous flight with an addition of docking, which is something I'm very excited to do. Roger. We'll follow normal rendezvous procedures. We will ascend to an inclination of 28.91 degrees with the first objective of circulating in orbit. Let's see, before performing the rendezvous burn, then we will approach with the docking target and perform a docking and prepare the cockpit for launch. Yeah, we're in the process of doing just that. Once again, I'd like the attitude lights on for launch. A little bit brighter in here. Numbers have stopped, so we can hit starts. Wait for the FDA to roll to our proper degree for launch. And we're gonna run this. Wait for this to be stationary. There we go. And ascent mode. Radio check should be 5/5. We're all set, and let's time warp to our launch. All right, 16 seconds. Here we go. Here we go, Aaron.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Everything should be correct here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
And liftoff. Roger, liftoff. Abort mode 1. We have a roll program starting, and the clock is running. All right, roll program has commenced. Go for pitch. Drinking a glass of water on liftoff, just like the good old Mercury days. Much easier while we still have gravity. All right, we're burning through 1/3 of our first stage propellant at this time. 1 minute into flight right about now. Here we go. All right, staging ignition. Second stage is go. We're 3 minutes, 30 seconds from liftoff. All systems appear go. The Titan II is performing nominally. Pressures look good, our fuel looks good, the engine's running beautifully. It's a little bumpy, but mostly a smooth ride. Unlike last launch, it appears we kept our first main battery this time. That's good.
Roger, Seco.
All right, Seco, separating from Titan 2, getting rid of our Horizon scanner covers. There they go. There she goes. All right, flipping our ohms on momentarily and pulsing back ever so slightly. 3 feet per second. Zeroed out our IVI's, ohms back off. Computer onto our catch-up module. Let's get these squibs off. Secondary O2 is off, and we'll watch this gauge here rise when that happens. There we go. And we gotta shut down our main batteries. Those are set to off. Now we're just running on our fuel cells alone. Yeah, that might be it. Roger, Wilco. Follow the circularized orbit checklist and enter a circular orbit. Perfect. Will do, will do. Our scanner is set to primary. That's good. Our computer is going to take a few minutes to load the tape. Other than that, I think we got that checklist done correctly. Let's see. Insertion, run. Oh, actually, there's two things. There's cryo quantity, and there's ohms heater. So I just want to make sure we set that right. Control power ohms down. Yeah, we did all that. Sequence light test. That's right. That's the one I forgot last time too. So we have amber lights test. All right, and that's bright and dim. And then red-green lights test. That is dim. And then bright. All right, lights test complete. Now we are... Well, we've successfully performed the checklist. So let's set our platform to... We're currently sharp end forward, so let's do sharp end forward. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Our gyro's aligned. Perfect. Platform alignment complete. So we are successfully holding sharp end forward now. Perfect, perfect. We can proceed with our mission, which we are going to circularize our orbit. So we hit start on the computer. Our current perigee is 6527. Current apogee is 6595. And let's see, is 56 or 57 sets? 56 to 57 are not set. Our time to apogee is 585. Our time to perigee is 3225. Let's read the transcript again. Did they tell us apogee or perigee? They just follow the circularized orbit checklist and enter a circular orbit. Well, if we're following the previous mission plan, what we'll be doing is waiting till our perigee. So we would like 6527 set for both 56. 6527 enter. And 57. 6527 enter. Oops. Enter. There we go. So 56 and 57 are both set to 99. Perfect. All right, so all we got to do now is time skip ahead to our maneuver at our perigee. Currently we're doing 200 times. Move it over to 100 times as we get closer here. Like right about here, 500 seconds, 400, 300, 200, 100. And we're about, there we go, 1 minute away from our maneuver. And we see 69 feet per second aft right here. I'm not sure what's going on with our okay, there we go. Attitude. Perfect, perfect. That was showing our rates, which of course it would show nothing. And let's go to rate command. Our ohms are now active. We got 22 seconds till our maneuver. We're going to orient ourselves sharp end forward, which is aligned with our gyros. We can verify that with the horizon of the Earth. And we are going to hold N to pulse backwards in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and burn. Make sure we're as aligned as we possibly can be. There we go. And this should be moving 98 lower and lower. And we confirm that it is in fact doing that. We'll be in a circular orbit after this, and ground team below will be able to calculate a Hohmann transfer for us to get to the Agena spacecraft, or the target vehicle. There we go. Shutting down the ohms. Yeah, we don't want off direct. We don't want direct. There we go. Perfect. We are getting into a circular orbit. Request target burn when ready. Well, I'm ready. Request target burn. Alright, 2 minutes to rendezvous burn. While we were time warming out here, I set the radiator to flow, by the way. Roger that. Roger that. Alright, we are almost on our way, so let's turn our ohms back on. We are on a rate command. Our platform should be showing sharp and forward, which is the attitude we're going to need to face. We can verify that. Well, yeah, we're facing a little bit retrograde, so we'll just go direct, pulse slightly up, and drift our way over to sharp and forward. Time to burn is in 83 seconds. Burning for 140 feet per second. This might not register for us until we let go. So what we'll have to do in the case that happens is just verify our burn with the OBC as we do it. No big deal. 3, 2, 1, and burn. Our IVIs are responding this time. Well, I take that back. It moved 1 foot per second and then hasn't moved since. So 9-8. We can verify that our apogee is increasing. All right. We'll hit proceed as soon as we see that number rise to 666.7. Yep. Proceed. All right. Radar is set to standby. Proceed. Yep. We are now coasting towards the target satellite. If everything went well, prepare the radar. Yep, radar is on standby. Give it 5 minutes of warm-up time. Will do. Now we'll set core 8-4. And we have 2,538 seconds until our next burn to circularize our orbit, hopefully somewhere nearby the Agena target vehicle. It should automatically lock onto the target when in range. We should arrive in 38 minutes and 6 seconds. Turn on the encoder. Ooh. There's the encoder on-off switch is there. So the encoder should maybe worked with Gemini, with that command at least. I believe, at least I was told, that the 251 command works with the Gemini spacecraft. And I did this, but neglected to actually turn it on, because I, again, have never flicked these buttons before. Now I know where the encoder on-off switch is. Very cool. Roger that. Encoder is on. When in range, send the command 251 using the encoder. This will turn on the acquisition light of the target. Cool. I'm going to do that after we arrive. Burning sharp and forward, IVIs are responding. Let's circularize our orbit. And now we should be monitoring 9-8. This shouldn't move. Maybe it'll move 1 or 2. But 9-9 right now is increasing. And we can confirm that. Our orbital shape is turning into a circle. Higher, further away from the Earth. A circle that matches the circle that the Agena target vehicle currently finds itself in. We're going to set the computer program to rendezvous. And we're going to drift over to the right towards blunt end forward, because that's where our target is going to be. And we will have to slow down and, again, Tokyo drift our way closer to the Agena target vehicle. Just like how we did with the Gemini. All right, almost 180 degrees. Should be right about here. Yep, all right, rate command. All right, we're gonna switch this over to radar attitude, indicating that the Gemini spacecraft is, in fact, blunt end forward, and, well, it could be any one of these dots. That's what rendezvousing in space is like. It's trying to find a tiny dot in the sky. All right, computer is still loading the tape for rendezvous. However, it's time we send this message to tell the Agena target vehicle to turn on its lights for us. So 2, 5, and 1. Well, I'm not sure if that worked. There we go. Okay, it switched back. That means it must have sent. Guys! There it is! Oh, that's so much nicer. It actually wasn't one of the lights. It's not reflecting any light. Looks like it's also completely in the shadow of the Earth. That makes sense. But that light is so incredibly helpful. Oh man, that is cool. Alright, for the most part here, we're gonna go here. And we can pulse forwards without our rendezvous computer running and start to get ourselves closer. Because what the rendezvous computer does is it maps our attitude indicators here to actual numbers. But we don't necessarily need the numbers. All that much. The numbers will definitely help us, but we can start to get closer without it. And what we're doing is we're going to be pulsing forwards to start getting our velocity relative to them, like approaching it. So we're pulsing forwards. We want to get closer to it. But we're going to also need to pulse upwards so that we don't fall to the Earth. Because right now we're facing retrograde, and pulsing backwards towards our target is going to slow down our orbit and honestly risk deorbiting us if we're not too careful about it. Which is why we need to translate up at the same time to sort of counteract that. I have pulsed forwards as much as I am liking to, which is about 8 feet per second. It's kind of drastic, but I want to meet our target sooner rather than later. And now we'll just be every now and then pulsing upwards so that we don't lose altitude relative to our target. Yeah, without the numbers here, I can't exactly or entirely accurately determine our rate of ascent or descent. And I pulsed ourselves a little bit too high. That's okay. I'm counteracting with pulsing down so we don't raise our altitude. We'd like to stay close to the right altitude. Start out when ready. Roger that. Change the FDS source to radar and attitude. Follow the FDI pointer to point towards the target. Center the blinking acquisition light in the window and translate towards it. Use the radar for range information. Yep, that's what we're doing. Nope. Okay, now I pulsed too much the other way. We're yo-yoing. We're yo-yoing slightly. Alright, come on, computer program. Load. Load, dang it. We're going up and down relative to the Agena. And we're on approach without it. I'm going much too fast. I'm going much too fast. We're going to zoom right past it. Rendezvous computer is still loading. I'm going to slow down our velocity relative to it entirely, and then we're going to float our way up to it and see where it's oriented. We didn't even need the rendezvous computer. You need to translate slightly left and slightly up as well. And there it is. And pulse backwards just a little bit to make sure we don't pass it. Prepare for the docking by following the docking checklist. Ooh, that's a checklist we haven't seen before. And get closer to it. Try to have a visual as much as possible. Alright, we're coming up to meet you. We're coming up to meet you. This is very fun. I'll match your cool sci-fi red blinking light with a red light of my own. Cool. I'm gonna want the attitude light on then. Yeah, there we go. That's some cool sci-fi lighting for this docking. So I'm curious, now that we have a visual of the target, 250. All right, that turned the docking light off. Approach lights is 141. So let's go 1, 4, 1. I do have visual, but it seems something is wrong with it. We will move closer to verify. Roger that. From some formation flying around the target and verify the situation. Okay. Something's wrong with it, huh? Well, I did just try 141, and the approach lights didn't seem to dock. Oh, is that its fairing? I think maybe one of the fairings is still connected to it. Well, that's not ideal. We'll take a look. We'll take a look. Set our attitude to pulse now. And we'll have full control as we get a visual of the craft here. We're going to move slightly to the side. Yep, that's what it looks like. It looks like the fairing is stuck. That's, well, as I said, not ideal. That's so freaking cool, though. Look at that. Yeah, we can't dock with something if the fairing is stuck like that, can we? Am I able to radio this into command yet, or does it want me to get closer, technically? I'm gonna take a look at all the way around it, because I've never seen the Agena in this game, and this is beautiful. It seems the fairings are still attached. There we go. I just had to get a little closer. It's partially open, but seems to be stuck by a wire or something. Roger, the fairings are still on. It will be too dangerous to perform a docking at this time. And don't take my docking away from me. Roger, what is the plan? Abort the objective and return home. What? No. I refuse. That can't be what we're gonna do. Roger, returning home. So close. What if I tried a docking anyway? And just push the fairings out of the way with the spacecraft. This is the third failed attempt at docking. Third, really. Roger. We'll get it next time. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the first mission. Going up to the Agena and realizing, hey, well, the fairings are still on. And it's too dangerous for us. I'm curious what happens if we approach anyway. The mission is over. I guess the next one might be an actual docking. And we'll see. We'll see what, how it starts us. If it starts us from the pad again or what. Like, is there a way we could maybe just kind of nudge the fairings out of the way? I kind of don't think it's possible. We do have the option of going EVA. I'm coming at it at a bad angle because I want to see if we can even interact with it. Alright, let's align ourselves and just... The fairing's in the way, but I don't think there's any collision. So nothing's really... stopping us from... inching our way closer here. Just to see. Yeah, we'd be shoving our way through these fairings at this point in time. Looks like we're going to shove our way through this bar as well. I kind of don't think it's going to react to us. Nope. It's not going to react to us. Well, Flight has determined that it is too dangerous to dock with Agena at this time, considering the fairings have stuck. So, that's going to be it for this mission. Mission objective to dock has failed. I guess the mission summary there's really much to talk about. It was a nominal liftoff. Orbital insertion went well. Home and transfer went well. We rendezvoused with the Agena relatively without the rendezvous computer. And once we got here, well, the situation is not go for docking. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Next episode, we'll be docking for real. I guarantee it. We'll see what that's about. But until then, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And peace out.